After a long and impressive career in traditional advertising, as a consultant and as the head of brand and communication at several companies, our final keynote speaker, Susanna Belandi, is today the Creative, Communication and CSR Director at Sofidel, one of the world leaders in the tissue paper production market. For Susanna and Sofidel, sustainability is not separate from the goal to pursue growth. It is, as they themselves put it, a cornerstone of its modus operandi. A warm welcome to Susanna Belandi speaking to us directly from Italy.
Thank you for having me here. Yes, I want to lead you through quickly what Sofidel really means by doing sustainability. Sofidel, for those who don't know us, is one of the worldwide leading manufacturer of paper for hygienic and domestic use, and was founded back in 1966 in Lucca in Tuscany, Italy. Sofidel is now in 13 countries with more than 6,500 employees and an annual production capacity of 1,308,000 tons. Sustainability has always been considered to be a strategic factor for growth at Sofidel. We could really say that Sofidel grew over the years thanks to sustainability. More than 10 years ago, when nobody was talking about sustainability, Sofidel started integrating sustainability into its business with following goals: to increase its competitiveness, first of all, but overall to improve people's quality of life, and to play a relevant environmental, social, and economical role in the society. Sustainability makes a lot of sense to Sofidel. We created a decalogue, a handbook. There are at least 10 good reasons to integrate sustainability into our business. First of all is cost reduction, followed by having more motivated personnel and qualified workers who are looking for a more sustainable company to work for. Sustainability gives also access very often to tax breaks, helps reaching elevated market standards, higher customer satisfaction, helps responding clients' needs, anticipating very often, and even more now, more stringent regulations, and helps increasing credibility and trust, facilitates accessibility to capital, and last but not least, enhances reputation. We started obviously with environmental sustainability, integrating it into our production process. Sofidel started reducing its CO2 emissions more than 10 years ago with the Climate Savers program promoted by WWF, our main partner. The program now will finish by the end of this year, but together with many other corporations worldwide, Sofidel is now preparing for the transition by setting emission reduction targets grounded on climate science, and is committed to science-based targets which were already approved by SBT beginning of this year. Then we postponed the publication and the communication because of the pandemic, but now it is underway, and it should happen in the next following days. So we will be proud to announce that our targets were approved by science-based targets. From a forest point of view, we obviously are committed to safeguarding the forest assets. Since 5 years, the totality, 100% of the pulp we use as raw material is certified by independent third parties, FSC, PEFC, and Control Wood. But also here, Sofidel is looking for a further improvement beyond the certifications. Our end purpose is to move towards the list of 5 priorities pointed out by the European Commission and cited in the European Green Deal, to protect the world's forests and to restore them in a sustainable and responsible way, meaning that Europe's land consumption footprint must be reduced and the consumption of products from deforestation-free supply chains must be encouraged. Also in this case, we started this year a 3-year plan together with WWF. Sofidel's water usage is quite low compared to the market. 7.1 liter is the average consumption of paper per kilo of paper produced. The industry benchmark is between 15 and 25 liters per kilo. This result is achieved thanks to the use of recycled waters, good practices, dry seal pumping systems, and rainwater usage. Last year, we added one more goal to our purposes in terms of environmental sustainability. We set the goal of achieving a 50% reduction in the use of conventional plastic in our production by 2030 compared to 2013. We will pursue this goal by, first of all, a general reduction in the thickness of the plastic film used in the production process. Second, we introduced last year new craft paper packagings on our own brands. And we started the progressive use of recycled plastics or bioplastics in selected markets. At social level, Sofidel is mainly focused on 2 topics. The first one are the new generations, because we think that they represent really the future, and it is very important for us that they understand and they are conscious of the whole misinformation and fake news surrounding the critical topic of sustainability. And that's why we developed a series of initiatives dedicated to sustainability and focused on this younger generation. We entitled all these activities Next Gen. With WWF, for instance, we created a project for primary and secondary schools for students to learn about forests, water, climate change, but also paper production. We constantly collaborate with high school and university, and we also supported last year the publication of a book written by young aspirant journalists on the topic of sustainability again. This year, we were very much focused on promoting healthy lifestyles and good hygiene practices among our employees, consumers, and stakeholders throughout our continuous communication campaigns. What about the economic sustainability? You mentioned that before. Our guiding principle is less is more. This principle is mentioned at all our meetings almost. And what does it mean? It means that every function is constantly looking for more efficiency in terms of value, products, and services, with less in terms of consumption and waste of both environmental and economical resources. So this is, at a glance, what Sofidel sustainability strategy means. Thank you for your attention on that.
Very much. We have a question from the audience, so if you could please just briefly comment on this. How much has Sofidel used digitalization and optimization via mass data usage in order to improve sustainability?
We had a bit of a gap in the past, but since last year, we started digitalizing our company much more. We have a whole department now focused on big data and on how really to integrate digitalization in our business process. In terms of sustainability and digitalization, it's not so obvious. I mean, it's being part, however, the digitalization of all our processes, it obviously invests also what we are doing in terms of sustainability. It's difficult to tell you precise examples on that, but it's going throughout the whole process.
Yeah, of course. Now, I was just curious, why did you prefer having a paper wrap that you talked about compared to a recycled plastic or a bio-based plastic one?
So first of all, paper is a bio-based material and it's a renewable material. And also it's recyclable and, most important, it's effectively recycled. Paper is recycled everywhere, even in the USA, where recycling processes are not really advanced, but 62, if I'm not wrong, 64% of paper gets recycled. So, and in Europe, everywhere. For instance, bioplastics are not recycled everywhere. And if people put the bioplastic into the plastic, it's a damage. So we preferred being with our products a bit everywhere. We preferred choosing paper, which was quite courageous because paper also not protecting the same way, it gets also damaged. So it was.
Oh, thank you so much, Susanna, for your participation here today. Today's offering of various digital solutions has really created opportunities for reducing environmental impacts. I'm now happy to present to you Marko Toskala, Director at Valmet Automation, and his colleague Jaakko Oksanen, Senior Product Manager at Valmet Automation. They will share with us how digital tools and smart automation systems can enhance the control of the mill's environmental impact.
So, Marko, how by automation we can limit CO2 footprint?
With the automation, we cannot directly limit the CO2 emission, but the items which will affect for that. The data is there, virtually available, and with the single system approach, we can collect this data, monitor that data, and even control that data. Okay, then what are the main items which cause the CO2 emissions? The main items are the raw material and energy usage. And then, of course, the machine runnability itself. With the modern system, we can collect the information about the consumption and also monitor that and control that. Jaakko, can we see this somehow in the modern DCS system? Okay, for sure. This is the Valmet DNA with the latest control room what we have. Here you can see all the controls from the machine controls, process controls,
drive controls to quality controls and also runnability measures.
Why the monitors are in a different level?
In the top level, you can see the main targets of the mill. So all the important things of the raw material usages, quality, energy, and so on are seen in the top level. In the middle level, you can touch and to see the processes, the machinery, and so on. And in the lower level, you can actually control the devices, actuators, and so on. And you can take all these with you to the field with the laptop or tablet.
How about reporting? In many countries, it's must to report the emissions, what is coming. Can we somehow see here the emission report?
For sure. Emission reports are the integral part of the DNA UI user interface. They are not only seen, also those critical emission reporting, they are seen there for the operator, for the management, for everybody who needs to see. We can report and see all the emissions, but can we control them?
Yes, we can. So with the modern system, we can also control and minimize the energy usage and the raw material usage. For example, with the new instrumentation in the machine, increasing the instrumentation in the machine, for example, the analyzer for the wet end, for the dry end, the QCS solutions like weight measurement, moisture measurement, creeping measurement, for the softness measurement, we can control machine much better, stabilize the machine, and that way save the raw materials and energy. There is very good examples where we have reached even 1 to 2% raw material savings when we have done this kind of instrumentation to machine and controlling automatically the machine.
What about the runnability? We can report wet breaks, but can we predict them?
Yes, nowadays we can also predict the web breaks, so that we have the new software to predict the web breaks, and that way we can see beforehand when the web breaks are coming, and also what will be the most probably the root cause for this. So in that way we can prevent the unplanned shutdowns.
Okay, is it costly to actually to minimize the CO2 footprint?
If we think about the investment for this kind of instrumentation and control and automation solutions, of course it takes something, but then in the other hand, the savings what we will reach from the raw material energy side, it's really the win-win situation.
Okay, I think the automation has a big role to minimize the CO2 footprint.
Marko Toskala and Jaakko Oksanen from Valmet Automation. It is time for our last presentation for today. 2 experienced professionals setting an example of successful collaboration. Let me invite on stage Arvid Johansson, Concept Manager, Dry Crepe Tissue at Valmet. Welcome.
Thank you.
And with us by link, Kemal Arslan, Tissue Technology Development and Investment Group Manager at Hayat Kimya. He has held an essential role in Hayat Kimya's journey towards becoming one of the big players in the world in less than 15 years. Nice to have you with us.
Thank you. And as we heard from Lisa here, Hayat is quite new in the game and starting their first machine in 2006. And already next year they will have startup of TM9, making them produce 630,000 tons yearly as a capacity. We will now follow some of Hayat's machine and technology going into those machines and how that influences sustainability. So Kemal, can you please share with us the beginning of Hayat's tissue journey in this regard?
Hello, Arvid. For TM1, we were looking to invest in long-term smart solution. One key idea was to have full cogen operation with tissue machine and get close to 80% energy efficiency.
And if we look at the impact that cogeneration have together with the machine, so on this graph we see CO2 on y-axis and production on x-axis, and how TM1 in that, and how it changed when cogeneration was started.
With the cogen technology, we can drastically reduce the CO2 footprint. Of course, it depends on the local energy system. But in this case, the reduction is about 32%, as you can see on the graph.
So technology plays a big role here. For your upcoming investments, you look to get 2 new machines, and then you change supplier to Valmet.
Yes, that's correct. Our focus has shifted to lower basis weight products, and we still want to have a high production level. This level was required a high-speed machine with reliable and high efficiency at speed of 2,100 meters per minute. And we believed at that time, Valmet machine can run high speed, reliable, and high efficiency. Both machines proved that in very short time. We even have the world speed record of 2,210 meters per minute on TM2.
Definitely impressive. And when it came to new investments, so from machine 4 to 7, also including the coming 8 and 9, you went for the Visconip technology. How was your thoughts when you changed to the Visconip back for TM4?
Well, the focus on energy has increased, also to get wide range of flexibility. We were really interested on the Visconip technology, but also we had high expectation on the unique design of loading element in terms of runnability. Therefore, we then also decided to rebuild TM1 with the Visconip, and we saw very good results too.
Yeah, and if we look at that in the same graph that we did before, so now we're comparing with the base of the TM1, so suction pressure roll, with the Visconip. So here we can see a reduction of 12% of CO2 for the machine lines. And if we gather Hiab's machine lines and also estimate the upcoming 8 and 9, we can see a big reduction of CO2, about 28%. And this is comparing with the base of TM1 and how it would have been if they continued investing in same technology, comparing to the new machines that they are buying, and also the important to go back and updating all the machines as well, as Hiab has done with the Visconip and also with vacuum system updates.
It's true to show that our technology creates a major reduction of the CO2 emission. That's correct.
And on the tissue deep dive on July 6th, we will hear much more from Kemal, and that we will see the aspects of sustainability in terms of CO2, but also energy and water consumption, and how it's important to also look upon efficiency and capacity utilization in this aspect. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Arvid and Kemal, for taking the time to be here today. Well, all good things come to an end, and that goes for this event too. But next week we will continue with the Dive webinars, where you can hear more about almost all the topics we've covered here today, and also get to ask some more in-depth questions. So don't forget to sign up at tissuetalks.valmet.com. So, for the last time, I'd like to welcome to the stage Anders Björn and Jan Eriksson. Welcome.
Hi again.
Hello again.
Hello.
Are you happy with how the day turned out?
Yeah, I'm really happy. I think this was new to us, and would like to thank all the presenters, all the crew members, and participants, of course. They made a terrific work today.
Thanks. Yeah? What about you?
Yeah, really good. Now I think we have touched the surface of something really important, and in the deep dives we're going to go deeper into the subjects and learn even more. So I think this is really great event. Thanks a lot for all participations.
And also thank you, Lisa, for your work today here. We are very impressed by the performance.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now it's time to say a final goodbye. It's been very interesting and also a lot of fun to get to be part of the Tissue family for a day. I'm really happy that you took the time to listen in and to take part in the Tissue Talks live through your comments and questions. So take care of each other out there and keep up the good work you're doing. Thank you.